Morning, everyone. We can see that people are still getting logged in here, so if you could just give us a moment, we'll get started shortly. In the meantime, if you could just give me a hand raise or a comment in the chat that you can see our screen and that you can hear us okay, I would greatly appreciate it. Perfect. Thanks, Graham. All right, we'll get started here in just a moment. All right, let's go ahead and jump right in. Nick, I saw that you were able to join. Can you just unmute yourself so I can confirm that you can talk?
Yep, can you hear me?
Yep, you're all set.
All right.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you again for joining us this morning. Today we are talking about Hire on the Go, the applicant tracking and recruiting portal. So we appreciate you taking time out of your day to join us. As a housekeeping item, everyone is on mute, but as we're going through the session, if you have questions or feedback, there are two options on the GoToWebinar toolbar to pose a question or to communicate with the panelist. Feel free to post those questions as we're going through the session, and we will try our best to address them at that moment. If not, we can address questions at the end as well. A quick agenda, again, just going to discuss who is on the call supporting you guys today, what is Hire on the Go, and then we're going to jump right into a live product demonstration to show you all the ins and outs and functionality available. And then we'll round out with additional tools and resources available to you to support you in your growth, and finish out any questions that we may not have had a chance to get to during the presentation. So with that being said, on the call today, my name is Erica. I'm the product expert here with Capital Payroll Partners. And we also have Nick, our senior account manager. Good morning, Nick.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for joining, everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so what is Hire on the Go? Hire on the Go is an integrated applicant tracking and recruiting platform built into the payroll. So as you're going through and making those job postings and finding those qualified candidates, once you make the decision to bring them in or bring them on board, the system will automatically bring them over into payroll. So you're not having to do duplicate entry. It has a lot of functionality, and you're going to see that as we're going through it. But some key features are, the smart application forms or form builder allows you to drill down and ask specific questions for that applicant based on that role. So if you want to identify qualifying criteria, maybe years of experience, just specific data that's for that role, you're going to be able to build out forms and have the employee answer those questions, and then you can review those questions as you're reviewing the applicant, just to narrow down your pool.
Hey, Erica.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. Are you changing slides? Because we're still on the home slide. There we go.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
So all you missed is our picture. Let me just go back here. All you missed is our picture. Sorry about that. Okay, so the integrated platform does allow you to post your job postings to all popular boards as well as social media integration. So not only do you get a company career page that you can link on your website, but you're also able to post to all the popular job boards as well as Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, wherever you're attracting your potential. It allows for applicant tagging and video interviewing with a specific platform. You can easily communicate through the system as well as schedule out interviews or second follow-ups, and then have a calendar built in, so it integrates with pretty much any calendar, Outlook, Google, all of those great tools. And then you can create offer letters directly from the system, so it's all in one. You don't have to manage the system outside of that. And then at the end of everything, you get reporting and analytics to just kind of help you determine, where you were posting your jobs. Was it the most beneficial? Were you getting the return on your investment? So with that being said, we're going to jump right into the presentation. So let me get my screen pulled up here. All right, so everyone should be seeing the Employer on the Go portal. And just a quick poll, who is familiar with Employer on the Go already or already using Employer on the Go? If you can just put that in the chat or the question or raise your hand, just so we can get a little bit of feedback. Awesome. So Employer on the Go is the online portal that you have access to manage your payroll, logging in and running reports, submitting your hours for processing, managing the day-to-day employee changes. That can all be done through Employer on the Go. And each user has their own unique credential to access the system. Now, we did a presentation on Employer on the Go a few months ago, but if you would like more information, we can send you that presentation, or Nick would be more than happy to follow up and answer any additional questions. But everything starts in Employer on the Go. So we log in and we're going to bring up the dashboard. And on the dashboard, we're going to be looking at these shortcuts down along the bottom. Let me see if I can grab a highlighter here. We are looking at this button right here, the one that says Hire on the Go. So what this does is it allows us to log into our applicant tracking portal without having to open a new web page, remember a username and password. It's all single sign-on. So when I click this button, we're going to get another page that pops up. Now, I manage 2 separate companies. They all process under the same, but I'm responsible for 2 separate companies. So when I log in, I can actually toggle between the 2 entities that I'm working with. If you only have one, then when you click that button, it will automatically take you right into your applicant tracking portal. And just so that you can see, if it's your first time logging in, when you click that button, you're going to come to a page that's just going to have you agree to the terms and conditions. And then it basically walks you through the setup of customizing your applicant portal. If you're already established, then when you go to your company, it's going to take you right into your dashboard. So when we log in, we're getting a lot of information on the front page. And if you're using a electronic applicant tracking and recruiting portal, it's going to look very similar. You know, the majority of them all have the same look and feel. They do the same things, if you will, but not all of them are integrated with your payroll platform. So key information that we can see, obviously we have our company name at the top, some quick analytics. We can see how many jobs we have online and how many applicants total we have, new and ones that have already been reviewed. Any messages in the system, this could be updates that we're making you aware of. In this case, there's a new built-in interview calendar functionality available. And then we have our current job postings that are open. And then you have the ability to go in and make some customizations, you know, as far as the look and feel, adding additional users, and just creating that more customized page for your company. Now with the job postings, we see that we have 2 here, but we have actually recruited for 19 separate jobs, but we're only seeing 2 of them. And that's because we have a filter turned on. So you can actually narrow down your postings. If you wanted to go back and look at a previously posted job, you could narrow it down and look for offline ones, or maybe you created a tag for a job. Just allows you to drill down and go back into those historical job postings that have been taken off of line. If you wanted to recruit for the same position again and you don't want to create the job all over again, you do have the ability to clone an existing job by simply just clicking on the drop down to the right of it, and you can copy that out, which copies everything, and all you have to do is change the title. And then you can go in and make unique changes as far as maybe the questions or the requirements, but it just saves you some time from having to start all over. So before we go in and create a job, I want to show you a few things that you can do to set the system up specific to your needs. So in the upper right-hand corner, when you click on My Account and Account Details, you're going to get a bunch of options in here. And the first one is setting up your company information. We're pulling this in from the payroll side, but maybe you want to go in and add your Twitter account or your Facebook. Make sure that we have the company spelling information and everything correct. This is what's going to show up on the portal or the company career site. You also have the ability to link in your company website. So anytime the employee or applicant is reviewing your job posting, it'll show your web page so they can go back to your company page and get additional information about, your culture, or maybe additional locations or other things available specific to your company. And then manage users allows you to go in and create different user roles. So maybe you want to have someone, a potential hiring manager, go in and you want them to be able to view the applicant but not make any changes. They're not the final decision maker. You can actually create different levels of security in the system and then restrict them even down to only seeing one job or one applicant. You don't have to expose everything to those individuals. They also do not have to be using Employer on the Go to access the system. You could provide them the URL directly, which you can see up at the top here. And then we could create a username and password to give them access to only logging in to the applicant tracking side, not the Employer on the Go or payroll side. And then two big things, obviously the plans. So the way the billing works for Hire on the Go is you can come in and choose the plan that best fits your needs. So it's on a monthly basis. You can choose, if you know that you're going to be ramping up and you're going to be posting a lot of openings, you want to choose a package that's going to accommodate maybe a higher growth or peak season, then you could choose a plan that's going to best fit that need for that month. And then as things start to slow down, maybe you're seasonal or you've filled all your open spots, you can always downgrade to a package that's lower. So you're only paying for the service that you need when you need it. Since this is billed directly through the platform, you would just need to provide a credit card on file, and you can update your billing information just by clicking that billing information tab, as well as pull any statements for reconciliation purposes. And then right below is all of your custom and design. You can go in and change the color scheme, the look and feel, update it so that it fits more with your branding and your culture. And then there's a bunch of different other options. Customize the messages that get sent out, create default job descriptions so you're not having to create them from scratch each time, as well as different forms. The nice thing with the platform is you always have our support, but if you're trying to accomplish something in the system and you don't want to wait for our team, you can always utilize the help section up at the top, and it opens up an online portal where you can pose your questions. And a lot of these actually have walkthroughs with images that tell you exactly where to click and what to put in each field. So now that we've gone over kind of how you set the account up to make it more custom to your company, we're going to go through and we're going to actually post a job, and then we'll go in as a potential applicant and apply for the position so you can see what it looks like from your side as well as it from the end user employee experience. So for the sake of saving time, I'm actually going to just copy out a job instead of creating one from scratch. If I wanted to create one from scratch, I could just click this create a new job button here. But I'm going to take this one offline, and then I'm going to create a copy of one of these jobs. So for my account, I'm looking for a park ranger. So I'm just going to change this to Park Ranger 7 so I know it's a new posting. My previously saved job description is already populated, so I don't have to go in and add that information, but you can make changes if this position is, a little bit unique than the previous one you had posted. You have tags and job codes. You can assign city, state, country. This is beneficial if you have more than one location and you're recruiting for a specific location. Again, if you're unfamiliar with what these fields are looking for, there's a little question mark next to each item. If you click on that, it's going to give you a pop-up from that help file, if you will, that tells you exactly what those fields are looking for and how to best utilize them. And then here we go into the custom form builder. So these are the specific questions we want the applicant to answer based on this role. So we're going to go into the form builder and see what we currently have set up. The nice thing with the system is you can create a template. So if you know you're going to ask everyone the same questions every time, you can create a template and just post it to the job. If you want to add or customize the questions, you can do that as well. So for this particular position, we're asking 4 questions of our applicant. And the questions can be in the form of a text or essay where we pose the question and give them a free-form text box to answer. It can be a multiple choice question, yes or no. So examples could be, are you willing to travel? Yes or no. When are you available to start? And it will provide a calendar or date-based field. You can do additional questions like, what do you value the most? And then give them multiple choice. Maybe it could say, honesty, integrity, organization. You're able to populate specific questions as well as make the questions required. So if you want to make sure that they answer the question by making it required, they're not going to be able to move forward in the process until they answer that specific question. You can also do knockout questions. So let's say you're looking for someone with more than 3 years experience. A good example would be pose your question, how many years experience do you have? And then in the options, let's say we'll do 0 to 1, 2 to 3, and 3 to 5. If they answer 0 to 1 and we have posed a knockout that they need more than 3, then the system will automatically send them a thanks but no thanks email when you receive the application. Now, you still have the ability to go back and review the criteria, but it just helps you narrow down your candidate pool without having to touch them all individually. So I'm going to put my park ranger questions back on here because it's specific to that role. And then once we're done, we're just going to hit finish and it's going to save that for us. And then the last thing before we go forward with posting is email notifications. So who should receive an email anytime someone applies for this particular position? Again, you can go in and as you have those users built into the system, you can just add and remove them to those notifications. So if we're comfortable and we're ready to move forward, we're going to click publish and continue. If we want to hold off, maybe we're not sure what the job description is, or we just kind of wanted to get that process started, we can always save it as a draft and come back in and complete it at a later date. But we're going to publish and continue just to move forward. So now the job is published on our company career page, which everyone gets. It's a URL that you can link on your website. And from here, you have the opportunity to now post to job boards. Everyone gets free job boards included, and it's going to go to, Craigslist, Monster, Indeed, all of those common job boards. But the value in paying for a job board is it keeps your job posting front and center. Whereas the free ones, it's just going to put it out there. And as soon as somebody else populates a job, yours is going to get pushed down the line. So while the free job boards are beneficial, if you really want to, target someone, you would want to use one of the integrated partners to post to a paid job board. So as we're scrolling through, you can see we have all of the popular ones available. We also have niche markets. So, in this case, we have some that are maybe a commercial truck driver, or we're looking for a chef. So we want to post to a culinary job board. Again, tons of different options. But if what you normally post to is not on this list, you can actually scroll all the way down to the very bottom and there is an other field. And then if you provide the name of that job board, we will go in on behalf of you and post it to that job board. And then we will let you know what the charge for that job board is and build a credit card on file. So obviously we have it showing 0. That's because we don't know it's going to be different for every job board. So if you do not want to pay to post to any job boards or do anything beyond the free ones, you're done. You don't have to do anything additional. If you do, then you would just click the add button and it's going to tell you what your totals are and it's going to have you confirm it before the purchase is ever completed. So you always know ahead of time what the charge is going to be. Just to show you what the company career page looks like, if you go into the URL, the wrong one there. So if you go into the URL, this is your page that you've customized. So you put your logo up there, you did the colors to match your color scheme, you've linked your social media accounts at the top. And then you can also have your company website showing on this page. So this is the job posting that we just created. And if I'm going in as an applicant, I can go ahead and apply for this position. So before I move forward as the employee, does anyone have any questions about how to post a job or anything that we've gone over so far? You can post those questions in the question panel toolbar. All right, not seeing any questions, so we'll go ahead and move forward. So now we're going to shift gears and come in as an applicant applying for this position. So I could have found this job on any of the job boards or maybe on your LinkedIn or social media page. Or maybe if you have brick and mortar, you had a QR code in your window and I came up with my phone and I scanned the QR code and it took me to this application, which is also available. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply for the position. Use just a made up name here. We're going to get all the fields. I do have the ability to include my LinkedIn if I want, the cover letter and resume and any additional letters or files. I can just click on this box and it's automatically going to pull up a dialog so I can go search for those files. You can make this required if you want them to not be able to complete the process unless they upload a cover letter or a resume. So we're just going to bypass it for right now, and we're going to get right into those specific questions that we asked. So why do you want to be a park ranger? I'm just going to say I love being outside. Are you willing to travel? Yes or no? We'll say yes. And then even though we have their resume, I put in the question of employment history. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that. So the company. And I'll just put my and then if I need to add another position, I could just click that add another position and continue on. And then when am I available to start? We'll just say as soon as possible. So on Monday. And then the best one I think is, where did you hear about us? So, obviously you're going to get all those popular job boards, or maybe this was a referral from a current employee and you want to pay out a referral bonus. They can tag that peer who recommended them. But this gives you some great insight as to where your applicants are coming from. If you're paying for Monster or Indeed, just as an example, and you noticed none of your applicants are coming from those pages, then maybe you want to choose to spend that job posting money on something like Talent Zoo or Career Builder, just evaluating which ones are producing the best applicants for you. And then the last thing is to subscribe to any future job postings. So by clicking this box, anytime your company posts a new job, maybe I don't make it through the first round, it's going to let me know if you guys have any new opportunities that I could potentially come back and apply for. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and submit my application, and I am getting an error up here telling me that I did not include any files. So since I did not make this a required field, I can just choose to check the box that I'm going to continue without uploading anything. And I'm going to submit, and I get a confirmation message. So you can also customize this message that gets seen once the application has been posted. So from this point, whoever was listed as the hiring manager will have gotten an email letting me know that someone has applied for that position. So this literally just came through, letting me know that someone has applied for that job, for the Park Ranger 7 position. If I log back into Hire on the Go and go back to the dashboard, I'm going to see those fields update accordingly. So here's my job, Park Ranger 7. And I have one applicant total, and he is in the new status. So I know when I log in, that's the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go review that new applicant. Any questions so far? Or comments, feedback? Feel free to post them in the question or the chat panel. Nick, anything you want to add as we're going through this?
No, I don't think I have anything really detailed.
All right. So once you have received the email notification letting you know that someone has applied for the position, or you just randomly log in and you see those numbers get updated, to review those applicants, you can just click on the job posting itself, and that's going to break them down in separate categories. So we've got new, rated, and archived. So maybe someone wasn't a great fit for round one, so we moved them into the archive status. Maybe they automatically got knocked out because of those questions we had pre-populated. You'll always have access to all of the historicals. So maybe, like I said, they didn't make it for this particular position, but 3 months later, we do have another position that comes available that they are qualified for. You can always go back and review their history. So in this case, we're going to look at our new employee, which was Bella. So if we click on this name, we're going to get her whole portal that kind of pops up here. So it's providing everything that was included during the application process. So we have the phone number, the email address, what date they applied for and what position they applied for, where the lead came from or where the application was found. And then a few things down here at the bottom are some tags. So the system is recognizing that we've used this email address multiple times. In fact, 12 times for 11 separate jobs. This person really wants to work for this company. So you can actually click on these and it'll tell you which jobs they applied for and when they applied for those positions. So you can kind of see they're different names, but I've been using the same email address, and we'll see which positions they posted for. So she's applied for many different positions under many different names. She really wants to work, really wants to work for Parks and Rec. But if I go back into Bella, let's review her information here. On the left-hand side, I can see all the questions that we posed as well as all the answers. Any files that were uploaded, so she did not include a resume or a cover letter, so there's nothing attached. If this was something that was sent later, you can always upload it and add it to the file so you have it stored. Restricted files, this could be background checks, additional security information. You're able to make notes in the system, so this could allow you to communicate with the other hiring managers. We'll just say maybe a good fit pending next review. Puts a timestamp, because we know we're not looking at this 24/7. We have a full-time job of making sure the company is running. So, a few days later when we log back in, we're not going to remember where we left off with Bella. So, having notes in the system and a timestamp just kind of helps you quickly get up to speed on where you left off with that candidate. And any activity, so we know that she submitted an application, but we haven't done anything else yet. If we wanted to schedule an interview with her, we could send an email and have an interview scheduled. We could rate her as an applicant, hey, she's a great fit. Let's see where we can go in the process. So we've got maybe our phone interview scheduled. And as we're making these ratings, it's changing the status in the system so that we can see where we left off in the process. So if we've decided that she is a great fit for this position, we've had our interviews, we've extended the offer letters, and we're ready to bring her into payroll, all we have to do is click this mark as hired button. We're going to get a pop-up that asks us to confirm her start date. And then we're going to hit save. And once we get the green check, we know that everything has flowed into payroll. We are collecting basic demographic info to create a payroll record for that individual. Now, you will still need to go into Employer on the Go and assign pay rates, the pay period, manager, division, location, department, if applicable, but this creates the profile for you, so you don't have to manually or duplicate that entry. So if you've created that profile, the way that you identify that you have a new employee that has come over that you still need to complete the setup on is by going back into Employer on the Go, and you're going to look at the button on the far right-hand side that says Employee Setup Required. So we can see that this says 2 employees with setup required. Let me just erase those. And I'll zoom in here. These are just hyperlinks, if you will. So 2 employees with setup required. I can click on that, And Bella is going to be one of those 2 employees that I need to go in and finish setting up so that she can start clocking in and out and get paid appropriately. So this would be a great opportunity if you're using the electronic onboarding to have her go in and provide all of that new hire paperwork electronically. So while you're going in and assigning pay rates and manager assignments, she could be going in and completing the demographic info, creating a username and password to the self-service portal, completing the I-9 and W-4s, which all of that information updates the payroll record. She's also signing off on any documents specific to your company, employee handbooks, company property addendums, or social media policies. Those can all be set up to have her complete while she's going through the electronic onboarding, and then you have it stored on her profile for reference. And she can see it, you can see it. It's just a nice place to keep everything centrally located. So that is how you would use the applicant tracking and recruiting portal. Does anyone have any questions on anything that we've covered, or maybe questions outside of Hire on the Go? And you can use the chat panel or the question box on the GoToWebinar toolbar. Nick, while we're leaving the floor open for questions, did you have anything you wanted to add about Hire on the Go or what that experience looks like?
No, I don't believe so. Yeah, as I mentioned, that was a really good overview of it all, really detailed. So I think that gave me a really good idea of how robust a tool it is and how it integrates with the Employer on the Go product very well.
Perfect. So I'm not seeing any questions at this time, so I'll go ahead and throw our deck back up here so we can run through the final slides. So I'll let Nick talk to this one, but some tools and resources that are available to help support you in your growth outside of calling in like you obviously can. Nick, do you want to speak to the tools and resources?
Yeah, thanks. So this is on our website. This is a screenshot from the website. So if you go to capitalpayrollpartners.com and then go over to resources at the top, this is under the video library. So as you can see, there are multiple videos in each one of these categories. So if you just click on one of the categories, say human resources, you'll see 7 videos that are specific to that category. And so we've got a bunch up and we're always adding new ones. And once this is complete, we will also upload this webinar to the video library. So if you want to go back and look at it.
All right, Nick, thank you. So with that, we'll open the floor for any additional questions. I am also going to put a poll on the screen. If you could just take a moment to answer the question, we would appreciate the feedback. It's also important to note, we did mention, we did show you the pricing and the different packages, but there is a free option available where you could go in and, play around in the system. You could post jobs. It's just limited functionality, but it does offer 2 free job postings per month. So it would be a great opportunity to evaluate if it's something that you would benefit from using. We obviously think that you would benefit from using the system, but you do have that option to have the free portal. All right, not seeing any questions coming in at this time. We'll give the poll just another few seconds here. All right. Well, with that, we appreciate you taking the time to join us this morning. We know that you guys are very busy. So having you set aside time to talk with us about these additional services means the world to us. But if you have any questions or if you'd like to get started using the Hire on the Go portal, feel free to reach out to the Capital Payroll Partner team and we'd be more than happy to support you. Thanks so much, everyone.